All right. Are we recording?
Yep.
Welcome back to the Evolution with Mac and Jenn podcast. It is Jen here and Mac.
Okay.
And we are so excited because we are here with three very special guests. We have Miss Nadia, Miss Rachel, and Miss Jennifer here. And we are so excited to talk with them today.
Yeah. So I'm going to give a quick little deeper intro here. I've known Nadia probably the longest, and then Jennifer, and then more recently, and Rachel. And we've got three different people from different backgrounds, different culture, different everything. And Jennifer is a like educated. I don't even, Jennifer, how many, like, you have what are your accreditations to education?
So I've got my doctorate degree in clinical psychology. I've got a master's degree in social work and master's degree in psychology and a bachelor's degree in psychology.
And currently on
Awesome.
an Air Force base with more or less special forces, correct?
Yes.
So we've got the overeducated badass.
Yes.
So and,
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
Yeah, and then we've got Nadia, and Nadia, if you can't tell, very religious, very respectful to God, or Allah, or however you say that. I'm not even sure, but
you say it right.
What's that?
You said it right. Allah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And so she's very committed to that. And she also works professionally. And Nadia, just let us know kind of, you're in education, correct?
Yeah. So I was in education for 20 years. I am basically master's in chemistry. I've done MBA finance. I've done master's in social work, and I'm certified with different coaching programs too.
So, awesome. Does a lot of energy work in coaching. So very, very well. And she's been crushing it and growing in her coaching business more and more all the time, and finding ways to not be so stressed in work and be a little freer with her time, energy, and purpose. And so that's been awesome to watch. And then Rachel comes in from like somewhere else, like new to all of this, brand new, had no idea what she stepped into, but kind of watched and observed Jennifer. And like Rachel knew Jennifer long before I knew Jennifer.
Why are you calling me Jennifer?
I don't know. Jane.
Just to make
I was like, I was just catching myself doing that, and I was like, probably because I typed your name in a couple times recently.
Yeah.
Legal, like had to type legal names. So it's
you
like,
can call me Jennifer if you want.
no, I'll call you Jen. Wife. Okay. So yeah, I was like, what? Like the dyslexia kicked in, full bore right there. Okay. So anyway, Rachel has known Jen, and kind of that connection came through, and started being like, wait a minute, there's something weird going on here. Like, I want something different. This life I've been living is not great. In fact, it's a shit show, right? Like, and something needs to change. And then I don't know what, but we're going to talk about it. So that gives you a little bit of background. She's in healthcare, takes care of people. Thank God for her and people like her for doing that, because it is a rough job to do most of the time. And the majority, I mean, when you have to deal with people that are in pain, it's not fun.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are or anything, because I know how I want to act when I'm struggling, and I've been a jackass, to people close to me even. And so, it's very understanding and a place that is just like, okay. And now she's looking to say, like, you know what? It's been a great purpose. It's done a lot of good, but I'm looking for more. I want a lot more out of my life, and to do something different. And she's been executing and stepped in and been an amazing student. So with that being said, we're gonna come into you guys and get some kind of a little bit of different information from you to see kind of, we're just gonna chat and speak to your heart a little bit.
I have something to say. Like, even though all three of these ladies are all like from different backgrounds and places and so different, y'all have a lot similar. You all are beautiful women with big hearts, with a desire to grow and be more, and all clients of ours. So but
Yeah.
We just love you guys. So, okay, go on.
Yeah. So I didn't intentionally pair it this way. I just like had a feeling. I was like, boom, boom, boom. This is what we're gonna do, and I just went with it.
Okay.
So it's kind of like now that I'm seeing it, it's like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
So, but you guys know how I roll.
Mhm.
Okay, so jumping like I'm going to go to Nadia. I'm going to go to you first, and just say like with the journey that you've had, and maybe even more so more recently, but just like if you're looking at like what coming into this, the expectation you had versus what came about, maybe you can talk about that a little bit. Like like did something blow your mind? Did like was it fun? Was it exciting? What just whatever comes to you right now.
Okay, thank you. So, journey, the journey is like I am in this journey of personal growth, energy work, healing work from like more than 4 or 5 years. And it's been a process. It's been a process of doing everything, although having all that education, degree, experience, teaching experience, everything, I wasn't feeling my sole purpose was being met. So getting into this and now becoming a coach is a different. But just recently, what I achieved, especially after the last 4 or 5 months, the program we did, and the detox program, which initially I thought is just going to be a detox of body detox, but it kind of detoxed everything. And I was able to spit out so many lies I've been hiding inside me. I was able to talk about those things which I was scared about talking to this beautiful family. We just come together as a family, and it's just we became as a family. And I was able to talk about those truths, which is still secret with the other people, even with my own personal family. They don't know many things about that. I was so comfortable talking about. And that was a huge aha moment for me. Like I was so comfortable in the space and in the process that we were able to share. And that liberated me, that made me free, that made me feel so light, not only in my body, but also in my soul. That the next step, it seems very easier, and it seems like it's feel more fulfilling when you don't have anything to hide. You can work with your clients in a better way. Then you don't feel triggered or don't feel get in that respect. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey so far.
Yeah, I'm willing to guess that you're also seeing a deeper level within your clients too.
Absolutely, huge difference, huge difference. I able to dig in better without being getting triggered myself. Before there was a fear that if I touch this, how would I feel about it? Now there is no fear. And that's huge when you work with someone without having fear of anything. That's huge. And that is giving my clients amazing results. Like it kind of 10x the results with the clients even.
Wow. Yeah. So just to kind of give anybody watching a little background. Like I said, I've known Nadia for a little while, but about 6 months ago, we do this program called a detox program. However, that's like this much of it. And a lot of people think, oh, I've done a detox, I've done a cleanse. And it's like, no, you haven't. Like it just don't even start with me. I've done a heavy metal cleanse. Really? So what did you take with the stuff you took in order to get everything to work? Like your guts, get through the blood-brain barrier, get your cells to function correctly, raise your methylation, do this, change your diet. Like you did all that stuff. Well, no, I took this thing and did Bob. Yeah, exactly. Shut up. Right. Like I think this is stupid. And so just getting past that is one thing. However, the physical piece of what we did was this much of it. Because if you don't address the spiritual piece of it, the nothing else really matters. Now the body is a key piece to the spiritual piece, right? If your body's jacked, it's going to hijack your soul. It's going to hijack your relationship. It's going to hijack your life. So everything is so vitally important. But one of the things that have been created here, like Nadia said, was the connection. and with the connection and letting go of the stories and a lot of things, like terrified to speak about them. And then all of a sudden you speak about them and you're like, what was the problem? I have a hard time remembering why I was so freaking what the, and it's weird because you look back, it's like, why was I so terrified to just talk? Like, and it's this worldly pressure that's just insane. Right, Nadia?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And coming into that program, initially my comments, if you remember, was the same. Like, I have done detox and this is this, and I'm going to have to avoid this and do this. And I've done a couple of detox, and you said, no, this is not the same. And I can totally now, it's a huge life-changing experience, definitely.
Yeah, transformation completely.
Yeah, total.
Yeah, so I'm gonna come back to you for some of, maybe talk about some of your wins, but I want to get everybody else in here a little bit too, because time winds up flying by when we're having fun. So okay, all right, Jennifer, kind of same question. Like this is actually the second time
Yes.
you've gone around.
Mhm.
Maybe you can go, like, if you can remember to go back far enough to think from day one, right? Like what was the first impression that you had from, like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I need help here. I'm gonna do this. And then, like, what happened?
Yeah, well, I was at I guess a point in my life where I just hit a lot of major challenges all at the same time. Sometimes that happens where it's just like every area of your life gets hit, and I guess it's to shake you up and get you to do something different. So here comes Mac in my path, and he suggested the detox. And at the time, I was absolutely certain that the only way I was going to get a handle on my weight was through bariatric surgery, because like nothing was working to get my weight to even stabilize. I had developed diabetes, got menopause, all this fun stuff all at the same time, and it was like it wouldn't budge. And so I was able to cancel my surgery. I've lost a substantial amount of weight, and it's been over time, so I have to like look at some old pictures and go, oh yeah, that's right. All my blood work, I mean, my health's improving, so it was a real big jump start to a long-term process. And there's just been numerous shifts and changes in my life, with the type of people leaving my life that needed to leave, coming in, jobs where I've lived. It's just been a very dynamic leveling up process. Hasn't always been smooth, but it's definitely transformational. It has everything to do with the detox and kind of everything else that goes along with this, because as you change, so does your world. I mean, sometimes very radically. Everything from family, kids, just even things that I would never have ever thought in a million years would happen. Like, my dad, my stepmom, kids, ex, like in my dad's backyard, bonfire. And I'm like, is this the Twilight Zone? I mean, I never thought anything like that would happen. So, it's been very transformational. But like anything else, you get back what you put into it.
Yeah, awesome. So, you know, what right now, today, what do you care the most about? Like, if I said, what's the most valuable piece in today?
I mean, I would just say that I had this feeling of peace and freedom that has been very abiding probably for the past year. And that's definitely been an outgrowth of doing this work, doing this, sometimes very hard work, but very rewarding. Very humbled that I have the opportunity to do this. And yeah, I mean, I'm just at peace, and I just feel completely free. That's the biggest thing. And from that, you know, it's just endless in terms of what I can draw into my life from there.
One of
And I've
the
seen everything go up. Career,
yeah.
my housing situation, kids, I mean, health.
Yeah, we'll hit on some of the bullet point wins as we move. But one of the coolest things I think was that like when you came in, you were freaked out, stressed out, like victim, crazy, all this chaos and everything else. And then kind of calming that down, getting control, looking at things. But not only that, but you began to step into this different place of being feminine. And when you
Yes.
doing that, not only were you being feminine, but you're also showing up like professionally as just being good with it. Right? Like, hey, this is how we're going to do this. We're just going to move through things in this way. It's going to be amazing. And even when you get into struggles at work right now, it's less of a, oh no, what's going to happen? It's more like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And you stay happy.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it seems like some of the, I mean, people always have reactions to change. And so, when I throw down some change that needs to happen, it seems like people get kind of, but I don't. And then like things settle down,
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, a lot of people out in the world would not, they won't step up, and that's leadership, but you're actually leading from more of a feminine manner inside of a military complex with
How
certain.
about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not
like,
about fighting with any of that.
no, it's just doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And more like leaning on God, like, well, this is the right thing, so we're just going to do it. And whatever comes after that is just what's supposed to come, and then we'll solve the problem, we'll move. And you're then,
Yes.
as you step into that more and more, and still growing into that, but like looking back to the job that you were in where people were being mismanaged, misused, abused, and chaos, and you were fighting and destruction, and like to here. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
you stepped around the other side of the mirror.
That's
So
true. That's really true. Yeah, and I'm in beautiful Florida too, like right with the beach and everything. It's like,
yeah, your life is completely changed. So
yeah.
awesome.
I actually noticed, Jennifer, when we were in Houston together, you wrote something on a piece of paper, and it wasn't like a letter. You had just wrote out like about,
Like
you
a
were
poem
like,
almost.
it was like a poem. Yeah, you wrote out a poem and you read it out loud to all of us. And after, when I was listening to you read it, I was like, she's got it. Like she is like on, like you had it. You were, letting go and stepping more into like gratitude. But in Houston, I think you still had a little bit of guilt around it, because you were like, it was like you were in shock that you felt so good. you're like, I feel so amazing, but like, I
What
don't,
happened? Yeah.
yeah, you're like, I don't know if it was, and I said to Mac, I said, she's got it. I feel like it's like somebody just needs to give her permission to like, to be good with it. Like someone needs to give her permission to feel okay, like actually stepping into into that feeling where you're just like, everything's good, my life, everything around me is chaos, but I'm good, and like it's all good. And and so I would just say, from Houston to now, what I've seen is you more fully like step into the version of you that you were becoming in Houston, and just giving yourself permission to step into that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's awesome. And it aligns me with my new position. Like I had to become that in order to be able to do what I'm doing here, because it's a much different role than before. I was just trying to keep the hospital from killing my patients, but here it's more of like a leadership role. So it's definitely, yeah, had to kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, but
not
it was-
master, but
yeah,
catch some of that.
like somebody giving you permission to just like be okay, to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, Jennifer, you're allowed to be happy. And you're like, oh, okay. And now you are. But before it was like you were
Yeah.
feeling it, but you were like almost denying it or not like allowing it in fully
It's always
because you
the
didn't
simple
have
stuff that throws me off. You know, the stuff that's simple, I'm like, what? Too simple.
it was good.
But the cool thing is there's these like very, very feminine, almost like outbursts, you know, like, oh, there's this, and you'll come in the chat and you'll talk about stuff, and there'll be some anger, there'll be some joy, there'll be some love, there'll be all this craziness. And it's just kind of like, okay, like I got nothing to respond, but I like it's awesome, you know, because to me it's you're just letting yourself feel. And that I think is one of the biggest things about the group, like when people can fully like let themselves feel and have a safe spot to do it, it gives you the confidence to then go out in the world and be yourself. And that really is kind of like one of the most special things about this little family that we've created. So massive blessing there. So I'm going to come back, but Rachel, let's go to you now. Total, even though everybody else experienced it, you experienced things on a whole nother level, because you went from what's personal development to like canon. Like you stood in front of the cannon and took it, you know, and like,
Right.
so what was that like for you?
It was just a really good feeling. Pretty amazing. Everything, happened real fast. From just pretty much watching Jen for the last, from I don't know, a year. So just exciting and just watching and being on that sidelines and finally making that decision. So it's just an amazing feeling.
Awesome.
Really great.
What drew you to Jen?
Just the positivity and, the down to earthness of it, and just being really excited about life, and just, I had hit that point where, nurse burnout is, a true thing. And, I still care, but it was just more difficult. So just everything, and just her journey and just watching her. She's amazing.
So you were kind of, you saw something that you were looking for and latched onto it and said, I just want to be happy.
Yeah, it was just her expression of life, just the way that she, just being, the courage button, I guess, to say, of just, stepping out and just, pushing that button. And, I didn't have a lot of lies to expose. I was already like halfway there, but it was just more of exposure as far as putting myself out there. So, and just really expressing myself and having that time to grow. So just watching her and, just for so long, and just finally took that step when she introduced an evolution, podcast, or not a podcast, but a Zoom meeting. And yeah, I just signed up immediately and took that step. So
Awesome.
it's
So
been exciting ever since.
okay, so here's one of the the things that I'm always, it's fun to talk about and chat about, because I kind of know how it goes. But so you kind of watch Jen and you come into the picture, you join the membership, you get a little bit of learning who I am, and then you jump into this thing we call the detox that, is like, some people would say it's like a fire hose. It just comes at you. And I'd say it's more like a cannon, because I'm coming at you. And I'm coming at you with everything I've got. I'm talking a decade of experience and over $1 million worth of personal development that I'm going to unload on all of you right now. Right. So,
Yeah.
and probably a little bit of fire from God, so
Absolutely.
when you went from this, like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this thing. Okay, I'm going to do this detox thing. Sounds great. I need something with my body. That's probably generally what everybody's thinking. And, and then all of a sudden it hits you, and then hits you again and again and again and again and again. And there's these stages of waking up. Like,
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that, of just saying, what was that like to you? And like, maybe even refer to, I was here, and then this happened, and then I saw this, like, kind of what were the, what were you going through during that time?
Again, it was just a complete transformation, and just, really learning how to grow and expressing your mind and feelings. I just so much confusion before I started, and my mind was so foggy, and just, it wasn't right. And my thoughts weren't in line. Just really having those aha moments of, how powerful your brain can truly be, and how you really have to open up that feeling, and, really let it be to God, and the community just really helps to really have that accountability. I think that was one of my hugest things was, oh, I could do this today, and I would just not do it. And I would just not, follow through with it. And so that accountability behind my back to kind of say, hey, shithead, where are you at right now? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you, what week are you in? What are you, planning? Has definitely set that into full blown motion of, again, so fast, the changes that just come almost automatically, once you step into that position. So yeah,
Well,
it's been exciting.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun watching, you know, watching you kind of shift through things, but then also begin to like take charge, take control, dive in,
Yeah.
the willingness to like go through the books, to go through the audios, to go through like things that you've never done before.
Right.
And then not only going through them, but being like application. Like we
Yeah.
apply everything we learn, but there's been a lot of different things that you've done that you begin to apply, and it begins to show. And then even more and more, even recently, what I think is one of the most admirable things is like you have to deal with some family stuff that's heavy, and
Yeah.
it's a disaster, and people are doing really dumb stuff, and to the point of killing themselves practically, with alcohol, drugs, or whatever, whether it's death or locked up or child problems or like all this crazy stuff. But you're finding a level of contentment that is like, this is frustrating and I can hear it in your voice. However, you're like, but it is what it is, and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing, right? Like that is a massive win. There's so many people in life, and it's not like your life got all great and happy all of a sudden. It's like, no, you're still in the fight.
Right.
And in the middle of the fight,
Yeah.
okay, this is my next move. What's next?
Yeah.
Get hit. Okay, I'm gonna get hit twice. Do this, right? Like, and you just keep, and you're getting those little wins that are stacking up that begin to more and more. So I'm really excited to see what happens from there. So I'm gonna do you have any questions or comments, or maybe moving back to Nadia? And
I mean, I'm just, well, my mind is on Rachel. I am just really, really proud of you for showing up and going all in with this, because I feel like on our first phone call, when I was talking to you just about the membership, I think you still didn't really know what you were signing up for, but I was kind of just like, no, trust me. Like, and I think I said to you, like, all you need to do is show up.
Right. Yeah.
And you have
And then
shown up, and so yeah, I'm just really proud of you, and I just love seeing especially people really take that first big step and just say yes to you, and that's what you did that day that we were on the phone, and so it was really cool. Yeah, and I was thinking, I
Yeah.
mean, you want me to comment on Nadia's thing
yeah,
too?
which is
Okay,
we're
well,
just,
when
we're
you
just
were
talking.
talking to
Yeah.
Nadia, what I was thinking was I was really like connecting with like the piece of how you show up better for your clients now, and just everybody in your life in general, because like when you let go and you start letting things out, you're letting things out, but you're also losing a lot of like judgment for yourself. And when you let go of judgment, you love yourself more because you stop judging yourself more. And so how they say you can love others more, like the more you love yourself, the deeper you love yourself, the deeper you can love others, and the more you can love others. And so just when you let go and you you get rid of self-judgment and you love yourself more, then you can really step in and serve the people in your life better. So, that's what I've seen a lot, just with everybody really, but you, when you were speaking about that, just that's.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. So just to kind of come back and just say, like, is there anything that any of you want to just kind of jump in or add or think, talk to each other?
Can I go?
Yep.
So I just want to just add, when we were talking about Jennifer, so Jennifer always reminded me my 11 during the group and in our family, she always reminds me of my 11-year-old. She just comes out of the room, say whatever she needed to say without doing anything, and then go back to her room. So that's what our Jennifer is in our group. That's kind of personality. Like, she just comes, she says, let it out, doesn't care about anybody, and then goes back. And then next day she comes back again. And that's the fun part about Jennifer and Rachel. It's been a beautiful experience. We have seen Rachel growing so beautifully from day one. So that's amazing. And a beautiful person, definitely. All this family, whole family, it's different. We know other people too. And it's a beautiful experience, definitely. And definitely, I truly believe that God connected us. There's no other way we could have come together like this in a group.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
I think it's amazing how quickly and the quality of these bonds came together. Like,
Yeah.
That really blew me away.
And on Max, like, I think it was his very first audio drop in the Voxer chat when he was laying out basically the, like, I think it was like rules and expectations, right? You laid out some rules, like, and I think that him setting the standards and him laying out the rules like that, and he really did create such a safe space for everybody. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I think you made sure that you're like, no, this is going to be a safe space, and you really held that frame, and it allowed everybody to share in that and be free. So
Mhm.
it was
And
really
On
that
the
goes
fun
into
side,
like teaching the process. That was the other one that you said right away, was learning to teach, learn the process and just really trusting it.
yeah, absolutely. And on the fun side, when I was listening to the first audio, my elder one, she was listening, and she knew that I've been working with Mac for long. And I'm like, I was holding my head, and she was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I signed up with Mac again." And she started laughing. She started laughing. She said, "Yeah, you did. It's good for you." So it was like, I signed up again. So that was the first aha moment. And that was like, okay, get ready to work, Nadia.
Yeah, there's that coming together piece really happens when we take the masks off and we
Yeah.
actually let other people see us. It seems like, I set a standard or I did this or whatever. I just actually got you guys to take it off. And when you take the mask off and you say, this is who I am, like me or not, with a little bit of a different dynamic, because I was like, F you all, you're gonna like each other. It was like, it kind of took that off the table a little bit, and just was like, watch, like trust the process, watch what happens, because you're all gonna learn that you're all the same. With a different story, a different thing, other stuff happened and everything else, but at the end of the day, we're all the same to a big degree, right? Like, yeah, we got differences, but
and that's why when you realize that, you stop judging.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the freedom piece. That's the shift. That's like shifting out of judgment and into love. And when you are in the energy of love, you attract everything you want.
mhm.
And I would like to give this credit to you, Jen, that you were holding that sacred space and the lovely space for us. The love was coming, definitely. We always felt that you were already there, like as a mother in the family who's just keeping all the kids under the feather like that. And it was like, okay, Mac can be tough, but I'm here to take care of you guys. Don't worry, it's fine. I'm here. So that was beautiful. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think sometimes she doesn't realize
I feel that.
how much just even her being present, whether she says anything or not,
Yeah.
how much it actually matters. So I appreciate you saying that, because she doesn't know, right? She doesn't
You don't
know
know.
unless you guys say it, right? Because
Mhm.
I do all the talking most of the time because I never shut up. So it's good to reinforce, to say, yeah, there's a reason why I want you on the calls, like, because it's like your energy is important to the calls, and
Absolutely.
if you're not here, I don't think I want to play this game anymore.
Mhm.
Like, so it just is what it is, because I know the importance of it, and it allows me to do what I do, because I know she's got that other side of energy and love and compassion and all that stuff. Even though I have a lot of love and compassion, it does not come out the same way. It doesn't.
Not, yeah.
I, I I remember it was like the second or third call, because I brought you guys in, introductions, laid out some rules, this and that, whatever, and then it was like go time, and that audio, Jen was like, what did I just put some of my people into? A little bit of freak out. And so I'm always curious to hear the other side, because I don't ask your opinion or anything. I say, this is what we're going to
Nope.
do. This is the right thing to do. And I just go, and it is crazy.
Yeah. I also had to learn to trust the process. Like I know to trust the
Yeah.
process, but it was also kind of like a test for me in a way, like, okay, Jen, trust the process. And that's just life, you can take that into life too. Trust the process, trust the process. And yeah, it was it was good. Thank you,
Yep.
Nadia, and thank you.
Yeah. So just, does anybody have any comments around that, when the cannon hits you?
Oh, I just told you, the way my daughter saw my face, she was like, okay, I signed up again. So she knew what's coming. She knew how I've been and she knew what's coming. But overall, yes, there were times that I was like, okay, I'm not going on the call. No, not again. No, it's going to happen again. And then with the time, again, trusting the process, knowing the process and trusting the process, that is, and then showing up, as Jen said, showing up is very important. No,
Yeah.
sometimes we don't like to show up. We don't want to show up because of so many other excuses, but just showing up. And I think in it was like fifth or sixth call, and I didn't show up because something going on with my family. And the message I got from Mac was like, I was like, okay, what the hell? He doesn't understand what's going on in my life and blah, blah stuff. But in the end, there was a learning process. The reason why he literally shook me, that was like hit by a cannonball, like I'm dealing with this. And as a coach, he's not understanding me and he's giving me more hard time. But that made me come out of it faster and learn to deal with it in a better way. So again, it's trusting the process.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. And I had a big cannonball experience with Mac. I think the biggest one was when he like lit into me about like, why aren't you moving back to Florida? And I was like, I can't. Like, yes, you can. And I mean, no one else in my world would have said that to me. And I would have just like stayed in Mississippi, and I would have missed out on these opportunities with my children that I thought were impossible. But it did take that cannon, because I don't know, I guess as human beings, and I can be very stuck, or you get tunnel visioned or whatever. It was like, wow. And then that, you need that sometimes.
We need to do a whole separate podcast on like canon moments.
We need more than that.
Yeah.
We'll do it without me on it, so you guys can just go off. Right?
Yeah.
And
Or
then
we
I
can
can
put it on
watch
a
all
horror
that.
series.
It's just going to be repeats. So no, it's just the fact of, having that consistent person, and just for me, it was you saying it to, probably just the group or me in general of what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? If not now, then when? And, just really shifting into that energy of, again, that accountability of just having you behind it and not being angry or, but just being a little bit aggressive. And again, like Nadia said, just needing that, some people need that, or Jennifer, we need that, to really make that shift and change.
One thing I love too is that because there was a group, when Mac is like speaking to just like to one of you, we all hear it. And I think then
Yeah.
sometimes we all like need to hear what he's saying, even though a lot of times he may be just speaking to one person. It's like we're all getting so much, and it's like total immersion all the time. And so I think that that's one of the benefits of being in a group. So I just have maybe like one more question for each of you to wrap this up. Are we ready to wrap up or?
Let's not just yet.
Okay.
We're gonna take, I'll try to keep it pretty close to an hour here, but Nadia, since we met, biggest wins.
Oh, okay.
Since we met, biggest win. Okay, there's so many. Biggest win. I found God. I get closer to God.
And
I truly found, like, not finding, but truly found God who really got it.
and
Sure.
you're saying that coming from the place of like you were actually doing the, like you were still praying, talking about God, doing your thing, everything else, and then like totally different.
Totally different, because I was doing everything as a ritual, not doing it as a belief. Just one statement of yours changed the whole thing, whole perspective. That when you said that why you're fearing people like you just have to fear God. And that literally crushes many idols, that literally crushes all those things. And I'm like, what the hell I'm doing? And that changes my life completely. Even now, until now, it's like everything else is after that. It's just like I trust the way that I trust God now, it was never ever before.
Yeah,
And I am highly, highly, highly grateful for that.
and you've had some pretty good wins in your relationship too, right?
Absolutely. And it happened after that, exactly after that, because I was living in fear, I was living in lies, I was living in just justifying myself, I was living in competing with my partner, I was living in so many negative kind of a thing. But after realizing that I was able to own my truth, I was able to own my whatever the weaknesses I have, and I have no problem now owning that, because I'm human and I will have weakness because I'm human. So just even accepting that and giving all my worries to God and let him take take care of my problems. I don't worry anymore, kind of like, no. And I'm open and honest with my relationships then.
And how do you think this is like playing out with your kids?
Oh my God. That's life changing again. We came together, we were able to communicate better, we understand each other, they trust me more, and their connection with God is better now. So huge difference and huge life, like it's a huge difference as a family. Just me working on myself from the since the I'm married for 22 years, and my oldest, she is 21, just turned 21 in December. I think these last few years, just couple of years, and the last year especially, is one of the best year in our family. I've been able to do things with them, communicate with them, talk to them with any kind of fears or judgments or anything. And similarly, they too. So amazing. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And
Definitely.
and I know your coaching business has been excelling and taking off. The clients are getting better, the money's coming in for easier, the whole 9 yards. But recently you also did something that you had talked about before, but it just happened with getting the car that you wanted, right? Like that was a big
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it yesterday, that it's like impossible happening possible. Getting a 2024 model Pathfinder, brand new, absolutely zero, which I own. It's like it was my dream working on, and it's against my husband's value. He never wanted to buy a car because, the value depreciates. Men works with the numbers, better. So it's like buying a new car means it's 40% prices down the very minute you got it. I'm like, no, I want to get it. This is my dream and I'll get it. And without any fight, argument, anything, he took me one day, he said, okay, book it. And I'm like, what? I was shocked. I'm like, are you serious or you're joking? He said, no, go ahead, do it. And we booked the car there and then when that's it. That was so simple. And I'm still shocked. Not only that, talking about money, I was able to pay off my 30,000 debt in less than 8 months. How did it happen? I don't know. I seriously don't know. It's just by trusting God, and it's just by trusting the process it happens. And every day it's full of surprises. It's full of surprises. Something new come up. Clients come into my life. Like people say, we are doing Facebook ads, we are doing this, we are marketing, blah, blah. I don't have to do anything. People just refer people and they just come to me. The minute I open a spot in my calendar, I get a referral.
Yeah.
It becomes that simple. How is that happening? I literally stopped thinking about how because it's beyond my thinking even now.
At this point, you're manifesting and you're staying connected to God, telling the truth to the best of the ability, and doing the work.
Yeah, that's what.
Just
and especially just trusting the God.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And again, I have said this enough, and I say this in every platform I get a chance, that I thank you from the bottom of my heart after God that you showed me that path.
Yeah. All the praise goes to God. So
God, yeah. But he's the one who sent the people. So we are supposed to be grateful to the people too.
He gave me everything, all the problems, all the challenges, everything else. So I'm super blessed. So okay. I know we can talk like there's more there, but those are some good ones, but we're running out of time. And so Jennifer, real quick, I'm actually just gonna go through yours because like yours are some of my favorite ones. Just because it's been such a crazy ass journey, going from one state, miserable job, manifesting your boss, or pretty much your boss being like taken out, removed, like half the problem gone, then moving a position while you were there, then finding better places to live while you're there, then solving this problem, then eliminating this problem, then it getting pretty good, and then even all the way to I think when we first started talking, like you had like your bounced checks basically was a interest charge, a monthly interest charge of like a high credit card, right? Like it was just like it was,
it was fun.
a disaster.
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah. Like the money was fucked, the relationships was fucked, the job was fucked, that the spirituality was just blame everybody, like it was everything was disconnected to then being like, okay, well, we started getting the body under order. Started to kind of get and purge some of this stuff out and realize like, hey, you did this, you created this, you can change it, and taking ownership of it. One of the things that you've done is you've always at least been willing to hear what I've said. When I've come in and been like, no, this is like, you did that. And you're like, shit. You like it, but you think about it and you at least let it come through, right? So that's always been impressive to me, and probably why you've made such massive gains, to the point of then moving closer to your kids with not only no more bounce check type stuff, but 10 grand in a savings account, more money coming in every month, a capital, then moving into your own place, establishing that, and you're still cash flow plus with business opportunity to actually increase your income on top of that. And this is all in just like a couple of years, from total chaos to bodies on fire, businesses on fire. Your spirituality just keeps, that feminine part of you keeps coming out. Relationships, still kind of working on those, but content, joy is flowing from that. So anything real quick to plug into that?
Well, I mean, like with the money thing, because I took a little bit of a pay cut to come out here. So I just thought, oh my God, I can't make that work. How am I going to live on less money? I still don't know how that happens, but somehow I'm doing better on less, it's like I have more money, but I don't. So I don't know how that works, but
I do.
It's,
I do it over and
you
over.
tell her like, yeah, of course she had to lay into me again about that, about, not putting my kids first. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that. But it like, yeah, it works. It's just very, I guess, counterintuitive sometimes the way it goes. But yeah, as I was like, no, I'm actually, giving up a bonus, but yet I'm living so much better and I'm not feeling strapped or, so that's been like, yeah, it's been
Yeah.
hard to wrap my head around. And not to mention all my student loans just vanished in thin
Oh,
air
yeah.
recently.
Just manifested the
I mean, boom,
$300,000.
yeah, $300,000. I'm like, what? How does,
Yeah,
I
crazy.
mean, yeah, it's real. It's
It, yeah.
what's
Yeah.
that?
You don't need to know the how. You just got to get in the
You don't
right.
need to know how, but it's just not how you are normally, you expect things to go normally, like you just don't think this stuff happens. But yeah, it does.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, and Rachel, for you, what are for just personally for you, where are you at, and what are your biggest wins to date?
My health, getting my relationship with food under control. After doing that fasting, 72-hour fasting, I really haven't stepped back into having full meals. It's just been all water and, just healthy, earthy stuff that, is just good for the body. And so my mind is not foggy anymore. Going through the detox and, just really strengthening everything, just everything. And the community connection, making new friends, was a strong one for me because, I was pretty isolated, contently isolated, but all of a sudden you don't know what you need and then you need it. And now you don't, know how it would be different without you guys. So yeah, it's just a really good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you've had to deal with some craziness over the past few months, and even to the point of like needing a car and then getting a car and then paying down debts, whereas before it was just like accumulating more chaos, and now it's like under control, moving one step, next thing, and just beginning to climb that ladder, but not necessarily with any harder effort than what you've done before. It's actually getting easier, and you're becoming the example and the leader inside your
Yeah,
little.
and yeah, absolutely. And I feel that goes with the what business is yours, I guess, where you just kind of let go of so much where you're not really paying attention to that. And then it just all of a sudden is like, oh wow, okay, well, that was dumb. Why were we paying attention to that? And that just kind of shreds off so much pain, fear, anxiety, scarcity, the whole bit.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Cool. Okay. Ask your question.
No, I think we should probably, we're at the over the top of the hour now. So I feel
We've
like
got 5 minutes.
okay, this is my final question for all of you. And it is, if you could describe your experience just over, let's just say, the last 6 months inside the detox and inside the groups. If you could describe your experience in just 1 or 2 words, what would your word be? We'll start with Nadia.
It's life-changing.
Life-changing. I love that. Okay, Jennifer, what would your word be?
Expansiveness.
Expansive. Okay, and Rachel?
That was going to be my first word, was what Jennifer just said, but just incredible. It's just your expansion, but just an incredible feeling. Incredible. Like
Awesome.
Unbelievable type of thing where you just don't know what you're stepping into.
I love it. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks you guys. Obviously, I mean, I think we could probably sit here enjoy this conversation for another couple hours and talk about different stories, or when this happened or that happened. And maybe we will again. Certainly if you have an idea of like, oh, I remember when this happened and it's like, this was crazy, this one blew my mind, I'd love to hear about it. Leave me an audio or something. Maybe we can talk about it again, because I know those moments happened, but so many of them happened over the course of the last 6 months. Like, it's hard to keep track of them. So, but I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you guys staying committed, doing the work, and I look forward to what we're going to continue doing and achieving as we move. So thank you.
Me too. I'm going to stop the
Thank you.
recording. All right. Yay.